if I need to distract him while I'm setting up my camera or doing anything else, or if he's really rowdy and I want him to calm down for a minute before I let him go and start working, that's what I do. I drop a little handful of Gibbs. Right there. Ah, good job. And then we can get back to work. Yeah. Yes. Alice. Good kitty. Alice. Kitty. Alice. Kitty. Alice. Good. Alice. Good. I've also started talking a lot more quietly. Make sure that he's still invested in the behaviors, even when I'm not super excited about them. And it helps to co-regulate him back down. Get him to calm down a little bit if he's really worked up. Lowering my energy. Good. Will help pull him back down, even if we're still moving and doing things to provide an outlet for his energy. Good. Okay, so I'm gonna work on that a little bit too. Just because I don't want him to start those demand behaviors in order to get what he wants. There are better ways. So I have two options. I can start paying closer attention, reward or interrupt before he gets to barking or whining, or push a little bit longer, wait for him to do those things, and then wait for him to calm back down again before I reward him. But what I don't want, what I don't want is to accidentally start rewarding him for behaviors while he's in that higher energy state. Good. While he's pacing, whining, barking at me. So if I want to work on his sits, for example, sit. I want to make sure that I'm not saying yes and rewarding right after he's barked at me. So if he does a nice sit and then he barks, wait a second for quiet, yes, and then reward. And that's basically just putting a little bit of a buffer between the behavior you don't want and the reward. You're helping him to sit. Yes. You're helping him to figure out what behaviors get him what he wants and what behaviors do nothing. Sit. Yes. Down. Yes. Also being really casual about some things, there you go, helps. So if I'm also in a really high energy state and he starts whining, I need to be aware of that. Or rather, if I notice that he starts whining and bouncing around, good, I want to look for that in my behavior. I tend to get stuck in what I want to accomplish and operating at that higher energy level where I'm just kind of in working mode trying to get things done. And so if he starts to have a hard time with me, it's typically because I got stuck up here and now he's giving that back to me because we're both up at that higher energy state. And what I need to do, take a couple deep breaths. Good, I'm gonna reward that. Take a couple deep breaths, lower my voice, get softer, slow everything down. And one of the things that I've noticed is that if I'm trying to reward his behaviors really quickly and trying to beat him to the punch kind of in terms of the whining or demand behaviors, I'll like, right, trying to give him a treat. And that amps him up more because I'm giving him back the same energy instead of helping him regulate back down. Also, doing more of this will help because it's saying I am not always the source of the reward. Sometimes the way that you get the thing that you want is by being calm and not directly, actively engaging with me. That's really healthy too, because you don't want a puppy that is so focused on you that he doesn't know what to do with himself if you're not giving him all of the answers all of the time. You want him to be able to do that. You want him to be able to find ways to entertain himself right now, but if they don't involve things like destroying things, chewing things up, harassing somebody else for affection or attention or stimulation, he needs to learn how to not be stimulated all the time. Good. Good boy. Let's see if he does that again. He's also not used to me not looking at him when he turns around. That's good though. We'll go a little bit longer, see what he does. It's really nice. He wants some attention. Nope. He wants some attention. Good. If I'm going to pet him, it's going to be very calm. Longer strokes, not a lot of scratching unless it's like very slow and gentle. Not working him up when he's in this state. Keep stuck under there. Good job. The other thing is, I mentioned in the last video, last time I was here, I realized that he gets a little like overexcited, overstimulated when I pet him outside because he's really excited to see me. And outside is usually the only place that he comes over and actually asks for physical affection. So he was grabbing, sweatshirt, sleeves, pants, the leash, the little poop bag holder to have something in his mouth. And I can definitely provide him with things to put in his mouth when he feels that way. That's gonna be part of it. But the other part is keeping him in a lower state of arousal so he doesn't get to that level of excitement and overstimulation. And he's better able to make good choices. He doesn't have the same level of need for a pacifier or something in his mouth to help him deal with the stress level or excitement level because he's not there. That's another thing. Good. It's another thing that really soft touch will help with is I'm not meeting him at that energy level, at that excitement level. He's up here, I'm meeting him down here. So if he wants the attention, he wants the engagement, the interaction, he has to come back down to me. Good. Here. there's things like this. Here. I step on it. As soon as I get more food, he starts whining and bouncing around. He's getting very good at catching himself. That's another place where I want to reward the type of energy and behavior I want to see. So if he's offering, there you go. If he's offering excitement up at here, and I want something down here, I'm gonna wait. Okay. Good job. You're really good at that, huh? Chin. Yes. Chin. Yes. Very good. Very good. The other thing is that I'm not reaching for him. I'm offering the affection and engagement here. And he can choose to come and touch me if he wants it. But I'm not going to follow him and reach for him. That's another thing that helps him regulate back down. Good. Is that all of this is very intentional, very much on his terms, and it lets him tell me how he's feeling. Yeah, there you go. I like the little shaker. Gives him an opportunity to tell me how he's feeling, what his kind of emotional state is, and whether he's capable of meeting me where I'm asking him to meet me. And also keeps the reward of physical affection a reward for what I want. So I'm not just offering it when he's being crazy. I'm not using it to reward bouncing off the walls or anything like that. I'm using it to reward meeting me in a calmer state. There you go. And doing a lot of this. This is also good because he's old enough to really start using his nose to find things. And that's really good mental stimulation. It's really good biological fulfillment, or fulfillment of a biological need. Dogs need to sniff. Yep. Sit. Very nice. Get it. How you doing? Do you want that one? You have your little collar? That was a little different trying to catch him now. Good. Nicely done. Nicely done. Yes, good boy. I know. Are you ready? Ready to be done? Can you go in here? Come on. Very good.